Good morning, my brothers and sisters. Welcome to episode number 22 in Be With Me. We're in the book of Galatians, and I'm going to title today, My Kingdom for a Horse. Actually, the whole quote is from Shakespeare, from Richard III. He's in a battle, and he gets his horse shot out from under him, and he realized that his most needful thing is a horse at the moment, not lands and riches and gold and treasures. It's a horse. What he needs right now is a horse. So the full quote is a horse, my kingdom for a horse. And I'm going to borrow that today and say a spirit, my kingdom for a spirit. That is, I'm going to cry out for the most needed thing, which is the spirit, the most significant thing in this particular battle. So we're going to go to real life, real problems, real needs, and ask at those times of conflict, what is my greatest need? It's not a horse, it's the spirit. So Paul has spent a whole bunch of time in Galatians. We're in chapter 5. There's only 6 chapters. He's kind of almost starting to wrap this up. And he's jumping into the deep end of what does he want us to do? Which is, he's getting to the conclusion. He's already spent time saying what I don't want you to do and what a bunch of knuckleheads you've been so far, and with wrong thinking and wrong behavior and wrong following of people. So now he's getting to okay, now that we got that all the way, here's what I want you to do, which is, I'll summarize the next little section: walk by the Spirit, be led by the Spirit, belong to Christ, live by the Spirit, and have the fruit of the Spirit. Act like you've got the fruit of the Spirit. So let me read. This is from Galatians chapter 5, verses 16 and 17. He says to the Galatians, "But I say, walk by the Spirit, and you will not gratify the desires of the flesh. For the desires of the flesh are against the Spirit, and the desires of the Spirit are against the flesh. For these are opposed to each other, to keep you from doing the things you want to do." So he's describing here a war, and we need to sort of walk the war and acknowledge that the desires of the flesh are definitively against the desires of the Spirit and against the Spirit. So what are these desires of the flesh? Well, I just would ask you, dear reader, dear listener, just use your imagination and you'll probably be right. In a couple of verses, he's going to describe all of them in great detail. But what you think in your mind when you talk about not walking with the Spirit and walking with the flesh, you're going to be right. Trust me. All right, but the big point is to tell people that we are at war. Well, and if it feels like your life is at war, you're probably right. And like a real war, so I'm thinking of us as a soldier in this war. There's a part of the war that's above your pay grade, and that's done with, the conflict of diplomats and presidents of countries and dictators of countries coming into opposition with other ones, and then using the tools of their proletariat to fight the wars. So there's something that's above our pay grade. And we see this here in the verse here, that the Spirit is against the flesh and the flesh is against the Spirit. So there's this big war, but that doesn't excuse us say, oh, it's somebody else's war. No, we have a fight. We have a dog in this fight, so to speak. We have something that we need to be doing. All right. So what are some things maybe? It says there in the verse that there's things that we want to do, that the Spirit is keeping us from doing things we want to do. Maybe it's, yelling at a driver, or coveting a possession, or maybe coveting a person. Another word for that would be lust, or stealing something that's not yours. Or maybe it's sloth. And by that I would say is pretending that there is no war. So I think that's part of the charge here today, is live like there's a war, walk the war, if you will, and walk the empowering to fight the war. All right, so let me take this super practical and just tell you what I think this verse is saying application-wise. Number one is that we are going to be at war today. So you will be under some battle or attack or extremis. And my prayer is that you would see it coming before it comes or as it's coming rather than after it's come. So I don't want you to say, hey, did I just not walk by the Spirit? Did I just not, you know, fight like I was supposed to fight and I kind of missed that one? So I pray that the Lord would give us a heads up as we are going into battle today. Second thing I want you to know is that you are supplied. How so? Well, with the Spirit. There's a story in Acts chapter 8 where a young knucklehead becomes a believer. His name's Simon, and he sees people getting laid on of hands and getting the Spirit, and he says, hey, I would like to buy that. So he actually recognizes what this passage is teaching, that the Spirit is the most needful thing. The Spirit is what we need. We are supplied. We have the Spirit. And we are supplied sufficiently. So what's the end result of having the Spirit properly applied? It's that we wouldn't gratify the desires of the flesh, that we would be able to oppose these big things. And we're supplied sufficiently and specifically with the Spirit. Now, this is a new thing. The Holy Spirit is new to the Galatians, and in a sense, it's kind of even foreign for us. And this whole idea with the Spirit living inside us, it's like we have a conquering army as well inside of us. And the point of the passage is cooperate with the Spirit. That is, walk by the Spirit. So in our story today, the Spirit is our greatest need. It's the kingdom that the King Richard III was looking for. It's the thing of our greatest need. It's our most needful thing. And we're to do our part in cooperation and directionality and walking with that Spirit. So rather than a horse, my kingdom for a horse, this passage is saying the Spirit, my kingdom for the Spirit. Well, King Richard III, needed a horse. We need the Spirit, but we have the Spirit. We have the most needful thing. And today, let's walk like it. Thanks for listening. I'll see you tomorrow.